Hello everyone. After a few rounds of battle on the Capitol Hill, President Trump finally officially signed the over $2 trillion stimulus plan, the largest one in history. Well, even for President Trump, as himself a billionaire, he said, I never signed anything with a T on it. That T is for $1 trillion. $1 trillion has appeared on the media at a pretty high frequency nowadays. The US government is a $2 trillion plan, and the Federal Reserve is $1.5 trillion. It sounds like $1 trillion just a common number, which is not. When I teach my little ones how to count, I said, if you have 10, that's 100. If you have 10, 100, that's 1,000. And then when I try to say 10,000, well, for her, it's really hard to figure out because it's such a big number. And what we are saying now is not even billion, it's trillion. So for every 1 billion is 1,000 million. And for every 1 trillion is 1 million million. During the 2008 financial crisis, the U.S. stimulus plan is nicknamed Boeing 787 because it's 787 billion. It's unprecedented. And now, of course, that unprecedented number is expired. We have a much bigger number now, over $2 trillion. In 2008, the stimulus plan in the U.S. is about 6% of the U.S. GDP, and this time is about 10%. So when we are saying that $2 trillion stimulus plan, we actually round it up. So we are rounding a 0.143 trillion, which is a lot, right? And of course, President Trump said it's $2.2 trillion. And for many people, probably you are most care about how this big pie was divided. The complete bill is over 800 pages. It's pretty complicated. So let me talk about the most important one. So this fiscal plan has 3 parts. It has the direct kind of direct funding, giving money away, and also lending, and also financial aid. So 3 different parts. For the direct funding part is $854 billion. For the lending part is $849 billion. And for the financial aid part is $340 billion. So together is $2.143 trillion. For the direct funding, we have about 5 categories. The first category is most U.S. citizens will benefit from that. They're going to receive a direct check coming from the U.S. government. So that was about $301 billion. Other than the high income people, most people probably will receive a check and likely will be signed directly by President Trump. The second category is $250 billion directly for those people lost their job. And also the unemployment benefit has been extended to people like a Uber driver, which was not included before. The third category is about $221 billion universally for American corporate. And the fourth category is for those targeted corporates, such as the airline industry and cargo industry. That was about $32 billion. And the last category is for the U.S. State, county, and city, is about $150 billion. So those direct funding is coming from the U.S. Secretary of Department of Treasury. On the lending part, we have $500 billion for U.S. corporate, and for whoever get that lending, special lending, they are not allowed to send out a dividend payment, and before September 30, they have to keep at least 90% of their employee as of the number on March 24th. So trying to encourage people, the corporate do not lay off their employees. And there's another $349 billion for the small business. When we're talking about its lending, it's because it will be handled by banks, local banks, but it doesn't need to be paid back. So it's kind of like the small business owner, they can apply for direct aid. Last part is financial aid, include $117 billion for the medical system. In that, there's $100 billion for the public health fund, and another $25 billion for transportation and cargo industry financial aid. This one, including the other two bills passed on the March 6 and March 18, it has been the third round of financial aid in the U.S. It's not only U.S. During the 2008 financial crisis, created the G20 peaks, and this time the G20 world leaders said they're going to put about $5 trillion into their economy, try to slow down this virus and try to speed up this economy recovery. And of course, due to this large amount of financial aid, Dow Jones made the best week since 1938. And I was joking that this is not the bull market, this is not the bear market, this is more like a monkey market, jumping up and down. So if you want to know more about bottoming and buy the dip, and you can go over my previous two videos on that topic. Today, I also want to talk about how this bill was created. I learned one sentence from one of my American friends that laws are like sausages. It's better not to see them being made. Well, sausages are very tasteful. The process of making sausage is not that tasteful, right? So how does huge $2 trillion sausage on the Capitol Hill was made? Actually, the Capitol has been working on that for a while. Initially, the proposal is about $1 trillion, and after negotiation between the two parties, it quickly goes to $2 trillion. And everyone knows that given the current crisis, public health crisis, this bill has to be passed. So the focus is on how to cut this cake. Politics is the art of compromise. So a lot of stale and dusted clause got to be passed and included in this bill, such as the sunscreen ingredients procedure, such as the female product tax benefits. They are all part of this huge bill. And in this over 800 pages, legal terms, there's many such small examples, such as temporarily levying the hand sanitizers alcohol consumption tax, such as for those federal lending, they can now promote people have a union, such as Tylenol and those over-the-counter pharmaceutical company. When they are making new product, they get some benefit from that, such as community and regional bank. They got to lower their capital requirements so they can provide more lendings. And there are also some term didn't show up in the final bill after a big fight. For example, the banking and credit card industry, their lobby kind of defeats a proposal which required the credit card issuer and the bank suspend all of the negative credit history report for about 4 months. The Congress Speaker Nancy Pelosi also has a $2.5 trillion proposal, and in that including about $200 billion financial aid to each state, whoever is applying for that. So although there are a consensus that this bill will be passed, but there are still many fights and many battles, and on top of that, a few senators they are either confirmed the cases or are self-quarantined. So the Senate didn't pass the bill the first time on last Sunday and the second time on last Monday. So on Sunday night, the U.S. index future dropped to the circuit breaker, the 5% limit down, and then the market open low and goes low on Monday. But still, everyone knows this is a must-pass bill and also has to be passed pretty quick. So this past Friday, Nancy Pelosi already said, although we still have differences, but we know who are the most important to us. That is the American family. And now we know that that agreement has been reached. So on March 25th and March 27th, separately, the Senate and the Congress both unanimously passed the bill, and that was signed into law by President Trump. The complete bill was called Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. Abbreviation is CARES Act. Wall Street Journal said Boeing will be one of the biggest winners due to the stimulus plan. Because of the tragedy happened for Boeing's plan, and also a lot of orders are canceled due to this coronavirus. Boeing stock price has plummeted in the recent days, and also their landing cost has been surging up. Their lobbyist has lobbied about $60 billion on this Capitol Hill. And in this stimulus plan, Boeing and the supply chain companies can enjoy the direct aid from the aerospace industry. They can also get the special landing as the aerospace industry. And they, as a corporate, they can also get some tax benefit. So their stock price rise up by about 90% in just 4 trading days. Lastly, I want to say, although it's called $2 trillion, but the final impact could be $6 trillion. And of course, that magic is because of the Fed Reserve. Previously said that there are about $500 billion for lending to U.S. corporate, about 25 for customer airline industry, and the other $4 billion for the cargo airline industry, another $17 billion for national security related industry, and what is left is about $454 billion for the other company. And the magic happened for the other companies. So next video, we're going to talk about how Federal Reserve is using the magic wand to turn this $454 billion into could possibly $4 trillion. That's about for today. I'll see you next time.